Hey everyone, Jessica here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to load up and use your gradients as part of the Iridescent brush kit. So I'm just going to go over here and navigate to my file folder, and in your file folder you're going to see something, a file folder called gradients. So you just look in there, and because I've got 35 different color palettes to go along with these brushes, I've also got, for every color palette there's a gradient. So you can, most of the time you can just double click to load both of these up, the gradient file and the ASL layer styles, or if they don't automatically load, I'm going to show you how to load them up in Photoshop. So let's go here and go to Window, Gradients, if you don't already see it. That just shut mine down, so I'll just go Window, Gradients, and it'll pop up again. And here you can see all the different gradients. You've got 35 different gradients here. And to load those up via the panel, you just go to the top right, click Import Gradients, and then just navigate and find that file, and you're going to have your gradients right here. And also what I did was I saved all of the gradients as one-click layer styles as well. So I'm just going to give you a preview here. So I have them as thumbnails, but I can put them as like a large list here. So for every gradient, you've got two different gradient layer styles. And here I'm just going to turn on, I've got this layer here. So here I've got a circle that I've made, and you can apply your layer styles just like this. So if I just click, it's going to put a gradient overlay on that. So for every different gradient, I made it a layer style. And you don't need to use these. This is just for convenience sakes. You can just use the gradients, but I just wanted to give you all the options in case you prefer to work with layer styles. And I have all of the gradients available as like a straight gradient like this, and also as an angle. And even after you apply it, you can double click the gradient overlay, the layer style, and change it around a little bit. You can change the angle, you can change the scale, all of that kind of stuff. But these are just to make your life easier, to make creating a little bit faster. And like I said before, you can double click to load up those layer styles. But if it doesn't automatically load, go to Windows and go to Styles, and it's going to pop up your layer styles panel. And the same thing, you just right click up in the top right and click Import Styles and navigate to your file, and you'll see all these gradients here. So that's just really easy to use those one-click layer styles just like that. Also, the new if you have the new Photoshop, it's really nice. The gradient panels, you can just drag and drop them into your document, and it's going to create a gradient fill, which is really fun. And you can always double click on this gradient fill and change the angle, change the scale, make it bigger, smaller, what have you, reverse it, all that kind of stuff. And also, if you don't have the latest one, instead of dragging and dropping, you can go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Gradient, and click OK, and then pick your gradient fill from here, and then you can change the angle and adjust it and all that. So I like to use the gradients and as backgrounds, because it really kind of helps the brushes to shine. So when you paint the brush against the gradient, it all comes together really nice. So the gradients are a big part of my kit, and if you have any questions, just put them down below. But hopefully you get a lot of use out of them, and they're perfectly set up to match the color palettes here. So for the color blending brushes, here I'm going to change this to a list. So I've got like color palette number 1, and the gradient, I actually pulled colors from each color palette to create my gradients. So they all perfectly match together. So it's really cool. Like palette 5 and then gradient 5 are like having the same colors. So whenever you, just going to quick do a little demo here. I'm going to grab one of my brushes, grab color palette number 5, And so whenever you paint like this, the gradient that I created has all these colors in it. So it looks really cool together, but I like to mix and match them. So it's really fun to play, try the different colors of the gradients behind your stroke and see what looks good. And you're going to get some really cool different effects and stuff. So there's so many options. And the colors, I am just loving the gradients to go with the design. So and stay tuned. I'm going to put some more tutorials after I get the basics done and give you ideas of how you can use your gradients more creatively and create digital papers and templates and all kinds of designs. So stay tuned.